Recorded. Okay, great. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm sorry I'm a couple minutes late. We had a little technical difficulty with my computer. Um, Today is Monday, June 30th, and welcome to BirdDOGGING Opportunities with Scott Travis. I am Scott Travis, and I'd like to thank everyone for being here tonight. Hopefully you can hear me good. I just turned up the volume. I can hear you, see you better. Great. Excellent. Wow, we've 2 minutes into it, and we've got more people than we had last week. I sure do appreciate you guys getting the word out. This is great. Tonight, before I get started, you're going to see me looking over to my other screen over here. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to type them in, or there's a little hand by your name that you can just raise your hand. I'll see that, and I'll go to you, and then you'll be on with me, and you could ask your question right from the start. I'd like to have this as user friendly and as conversationalist as we can, or have a conversation more than me just preaching to you or going through my things. Makes it a little bit easier for me to keep everything on the kind of everything going flow wise. So we just keep adding more people as we go. I just really appreciate that. That's great. So once again, it's Monday, June 30th, and BirdDOGGING Opportunities with Scott Travis, and I am Scott Travis, the host for Monday nights. Here we go over just different strategies and different things that come up during the week of how we can go ahead and lock up some properties in under contract with whoever owns them or whoever has them on the multiple listing, either realtor, bank owned, or however we do it. But tonight, I think it's going to be kind of fun. I've got realtor, friend or foe. There's some real pros and cons with working with realtors, but we'll just kind of go through a couple of them tonight and see if at the end we can change some minds, or if you guys have some experience, then I would love to hear yours. Great. Michael Lee, first webinar I've ever attended. Well, welcome. I hope this does answer some questions or get you started in the right path. So first, realtor, friend or foe. I know that I've had some good experiences and some bad experiences with realtors, but I think that I think a lot of it is just a relationship that you have to build with them. I'll kind of go through the things and see if working with the realtors is your cup of tea, if you're a people person, or if you're not, or if you just have some pretty strong opinions on either way. I'd be glad to hear them. So, realtor or not, should I work with the realtor, or should I just go at it, lone wolf and try and find all the off-market properties and find all the deals by myself? Well, it's a lot easier doing it in with someone else, and someone else helping you, but you're more than welcome to do it by yourself. There's bandit signs. They're for sale by owner. If you just look on the screen there, for those of you that are on the webinar, those of you who are listening, it's just are you equipped to find a deal without a realtor? Well, we've gone for the past couple of weeks on showing you how to go about that, with the different strategies, different avenues that you can do. But like I say, yeah, you can, but why would you not take advantage of their knowledge? The thing about it is the realtor, that's their job. They're pretty much in control of the MLS. They know what's on the MLS. They know what comes up. They're a direct line to the seller. They are people that are in the know. They talk to people, which everyone should be doing. That's one of your biggest assets is your mouth. Keep it, keep talking, talk about it. Talk to everybody you know. Let me make sure we're recording here. I think so. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was just my screen there. Okay, perfect. So yeah, take advantage of everything that you can when you're in this. I use, we'll go over what I use and different things that I do tonight, and we'll just look at them. The biggest thing is there's a sea of information out there. I mean, we're 3 slides into it, and my big thing tonight is a realtor good or bad? I love realtors. Find a realtor, find many realtors to work with you. They are going to be your best avenue. Um, in some sense, you're going to have to talk to a realtor, one way or another, because when you go to sell the property, I am not a big proponent of selling my own properties. I don't have the marketing. I don't know if you have the marketing to do it, but you want to be on MLS. To be on MLS, multiple listing service, you have to be a realtor. There's people that say you can get on it from other ways. Well, that's great. I don't have time to do that. My time is not tied up in marketing my property, except for with the realtor, or if in a unique situation that you want to do a lot of advertising on a unique property. If there's issues with the property, if there's someone that can walk through it, such as a realtor, the realtor is going to be probably one of your best friends, working on your property. So find a realtor, find a couple of realtors in the area or in the neighborhood that you want to be working in. We're talking about bird dogging, so obviously finding the properties. I'm not saying that a realtor is the only way to find properties. Don't get me wrong on this webinar. This is just one of your tools that you keep in your belt. You have to work with one. And I'll say this: you have to work with one. In my opinion, the realtor is going to answer a lot of questions. The realtor is going to get you out of trouble. A realtor can also get you in trouble. So don't think that a realtor is going to be the save all for your business or what you're going to be moving forward in the future. But there's I just pulled all my slides. I usually pull up off of Google. I usually pull everything off, so I'm not pulling anything that you guys can't do. This one, I mean, there's 1,000 realtors. I mean, I think there's 6,300 just in my area, Las Vegas area. How do you pick which one? I mean, you can go with the realtor that's got, that works for Century 21, Coldwell Banker. I mean, and I'm not endorsing any of them. I'm just saying that there's so many. There's Independent, there's Exit Realty, there's Equity Realty. I mean, these are just the ones that I pulled up, and it's just to show you, as you probably already know, they're gonna try and market themselves the best way that they can. Obviously, they're most of them are going to put their picture on there to see what you look like, to see what they look like, to see if you're comfortable with them. Some people feel more comfortable with working with women realtors, men, long hair, short hair. I mean, there's so many things. On my construction business, I've told people that people will fire you or hire you just by the way you dress. So if you're that type of person, go through and pick out what you like. I mean, there's more realtors to pick from, and if there's different styles. I mean, here's another one. I mean, you've got the guy that's the cigar smoker that's just a money flasher. I've got a couple of pictures on here. Surfing realtor. I mean, it doesn't matter which realtor you pick. It's just going to be a comfort level with you. It's going to be a total comfort level. You have to realize that it's going to be a relationship that you're going to be building with these people. And the more honest you are with them, hopefully you can get their honesty back. So in picking a realtor, obviously the first thing is going to be the appearance. Do you want someone to represent you? How are you going to want someone to represent you when you go to sell the property? If you're a flashy person, if you're someone that's real kind of timid or mild, but you want someone that's more aggressive, then you're going to go for a more aggressive realtor. So when you're picking a realtor, there's plenty to choose from. Go to the store and shop for one, and see how you guys work together. And that's what it's all about. It's a relationship based on the two of you. You just have to feel comfortable. moving forward, you have to realize that you're going to be, this person is going to be working for you and with you. You have to have something in common, a common goal. Your goal is to sell the property. Um, when it's all done, the original goal is to buy a property, but you have to kind of get in their mind on how they actually work. Throughout this whole night, I'm going to say it's a relationship that you have to build with this people, and it's not just a one-way relationship. You just can't work your realtor to the bone without giving something back. And that's the one thing I say. I treat all the realtors that I work with the utmost respect. This is their job. You can't, I know a lot of people that look down on them and just say that this is just a job and they just, they work for me and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's true, but, I know myself, I'd rather work with someone that I get along with and that respects what I do. So respect these people, and that's what I would say. It's a respect. You expect it. If you give it, you're going to get it back. And the realtors that don't meet up your expectation, there's no reason why you have to keep on working with them. So, you know, obviously some of the obvious things that I have listed here is what can they do for you? Is they have access to all the listed properties. They know the areas, especially if you're doing something remotely. And I mean remotely is not within your grasp or within your driving distance to go and see the property. I buy probably 85 to 90% of my properties, if not more, sight unseen. So I rely a lot on the realtors. So it's the relationship that they know where I'm coming from, and I have to expect them to give me what I'm expecting from them. So they're going to have the access to the listed properties via MLS. They're also going to have access to properties that are not listed yet, that might be, sometimes called pocket deals, or sometimes called, they have the inside track on what's going to be coming available, or something in the office that's going to be coming available. And again, I go back to the knowing the areas. If you're not from that area, you're not going to know what's going on in that area. So it helps you immensely to work with one. They're going to know what's selling. So if you find a deal that's a great deal, but that area is not selling, it just so happens we went over one. I would think I was talking with Lynn this week. I think it was Lynn or someone else that, here's a property that's in a nice little neighborhood. Actually, it was Diane. A nice little neighborhood, small little town, but nothing has been selling in that area, and nothing has been for sale. So there's not a lot of comps for it. No one's really moving to that area. So it might be a great house. It might be in a great location. It might be a quaint little town, but if no one's living there or no one's moving there, it's a bad deal. I mean, is the way I look at it. So they're gonna know what's selling in the area. They're gonna know who's buying. Is it young families that are buying in this neighborhood, in this area? Is it going to be people that are retirees? So they're going to know the market on who they're going to market the property to once we get done rehabbing it, and once we get done getting it ready to market. They're going to know the areas to stay away from. I know a lot of times that properties will get sent to me. I will call up the realtor in that area that I'm working with at the time and say, listen, this property has just come across my desk. What do you know about the area? Well, it's a great neighborhood. There's really, a lot going on for it. It's an up and coming neighborhood. That's what we've got in Atlanta. If I look at it from Zillow or Google, I mean, it doesn't look like a neighborhood that's really up and coming, but the realtor knows that the properties are starting to move out towards that area, and the areas are starting to sell for more. And that's getting to be a desirable area of where people are wanting to go. So they're really going to know where to go and what to stay away from. What they can do for you. What is their motivation? That's kind of a not really a tricky question in there, but is their motivation just to sell you a property? if that's the case, then you're not going to get the relationship that you really want with them. In other words, if their motivation is to have a property listed and sell it to whoever comes in and buys it, and they might be an investor friendly realtor, and some investors will just buy anything. Obviously, I buy quite a bit sight unseen. Obviously, there's pictures that I go off of and a lot of information. But if their motivation is just to get rid of a junk property and not be honest with you, then you have to understand that if they're going to be working with you and for you. Once again, I'm going to go back and forth looking from another screen. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Stop me anytime. I'll try and catch a question as soon as you put it up there. And I'll look back and forth. If you don't want to raise your hand, just type it in there and it'll come up on my screen. So that's the first thing is what they can do for you. The listed properties they're going to have access to. Know the areas that you want to go into or stay away from, or what the area is all about. They're going to know what's selling. They're going to know who's buying, areas to stay away from, and kind of find out what their motivation is on as a realtor. Are they a realtor that just goes for numbers and sales? Do they just look at their commission at the bottom end, and they just want to move property? Then that's what you have to find out. Now it comes back into it. If it's going to be a relationship, you're asking what can they do for you. Now that the obvious next one is what can you do for them. As an investor and as a purchaser of real estate, it's going to be an instant sale. Once we've got all of our information and all our due diligence and all of our comps, our pictures, square footage, bed and bath, once we have all the basics down, it could be an instant sale. Once we say yes, it's a go, it's going to be a go. So they know that they can count on, if all the parameters are met, that it's going to be a sale. So that's going to be, really helpful for them, because if they're helping you get all the questions answered that you want, then they're doing their job. Your commitment is to purchase the property. You're a knowledgeable buyer. You have people behind you that are checking out everything that you're looking at. Once again, this is the bird dogging. So if you have a property or a deal that comes and you get all the information sent over, send it to scott@c2creia.com. We'll go over it, look at it. I'll converse with you and tell you exactly what's good, what's bad, if we can move on it. So try and keep you as knowledgeable, on the transaction as we can, as we go in through the project. So you can do for them. It's going to be an instant sale. You're going to be knowledgeable. You're going to know what you're talking about. You're going to know from them and from your research and from our research if the deal is good. Easy transition. I don't know of many of the realtors that I work with that don't think that the transitions that we do are hard. All the offers that I write are very clean. When I mean a clean offer is usually 10 to 15 day close. I ask for a 3-day inspection. I don't ask them, depending on the deal. I don't usually ask for closing costs. I make it a 50-50 deal. Very clean. No, don't fix the I noticed that the window is broken. I need that fixed before it's done. I need a new water heater. I make it so that it's a very simple. I'm a very cut and dry. If the numbers work, the deal works. That's it. If there's broken equipment in the house, if the house has been vandalized, everything else, that's all the research that I've done in my numbers, so that when I present an offer, this is the offer that I'm presenting. Everything has been looked through. I don't care about the little things. That's all in the numbers. So if the numbers work, the deal works. Okay. What you can do for them also is your return customer. Do you realize I was reading somewhere, and if I get this wrong, I apologize, but a one-time home buyer, the regular average person that buys a home once every 6 to 7 years. Okay, so that realtor is in front of that person one time every 6 years. You, as a bird dog or as an investor, you're in front of that realtor to buy properties all the time. As long as the money's there, we are prepared to buy property. So if the deal is good, we have the money, we buy the property. So they can make a heck of a lot more money off of us selling us good properties and giving us the properties that are the ones that are off market, or the extra special deals, or the ones that are moving quickly. Why would they not want to work with us being a return customer? If they can sell us 5 homes in 5 months, what would be the drawback of that? It's an instant sale. We're a knowledgeable buyer. It's an easy transition, and we're a return customer. So there's a lot to say about us as investors and as bird dogs using a realtor. Their motivation, we have to find a motivation in everybody, and motivation for them is to sell the property so that they get the commission check. That's not a bad thing. We all work for money. It's not that, you're not going to ask them to work for free. There's a lot of research that you're going to do on sending these deals this way. The research on bed and bath, the comps, the listing, the size of the house, pictures. That's the work that you're doing. There's compensation in that. There's compensation for us as rehabbing them. We're putting money into it to get more money out. So you have to, I think a lot of times there's some investors and there's some people that really think that because they're the investor, they're the top dog in all this. And you know what? It takes a team. It takes a lot of people to make a deal go right. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a guy with $1 billion. You're still going to have a team behind you that helps you. And bird dogging is a major part of this team, and that's what we're looking for. And as myself and Pete and Ivan, we're a team. We check each other out and make sure that what we're saying is true, where our money situation is, where the deals are coming, where they're going, making sure that everyone is taken care of. So that's I'm going to go back on that. That's the one reason why I joined here. I didn't want to be in a me situation, and that's not what you have when you're on here. So cash buyer. We're a cash buyer. That those deals usually, I say usually go well and go a lot quicker. But there's a lot of cash buyers out there right now, a lot of cash buyers. So you have to make the deal as clean as possible, and as clean as possible. So also always available to buy on the spot. Well, that's kind of a different way of. Let me kind of go through that. Always available to buy on the spot. We'll buy on the spot if we have a relationship with the realtor that knows what we're looking for and is doing a lot of homework for us. Mind you, they're not going to be the end decision maker you are, or we are, or you as an investor are going to be the end decision maker. As a bird dog, you're going to present that information to us so that we can make the end decision on it. So once you have this relationship of working together, they're going to know, the realtor is going to know whether you're a true buyer or if you're just someone that's going to waste a lot of time. Because, if you waste a lot of time, nobody's making any money. And that's just not what anybody's going to do. So that's, we've gone through, what they can do, what you can do. And now, it's building on the relationship. Once again, I'm going to stop real quick. If there's any questions or anybody has any comments, please feel free to raise your hand or just type in the questions. We've got more people. I just want to thank everybody for being on. I'm looking here, and we've got more people than we had last week, and each week is going crazy. And I appreciate all you guys. At least tell someone for next week if they can, or have them download this podcast and look over it. If there's something that piques their interest, I think it's great. Hopefully we can keep doing these and answer as many questions as we need to, and hopefully make this transition from bird dog to investor a lot easier. So it's a relationship. Like I've said from the beginning, this is going to be a hand-holding experience. The biggest one, and I kind of put this last and I put it in red, but I put it at the beginning, is, do you like each other? So many relationships start off with, well, I like the way he dresses, or I like the way she looks. Maybe it's going to be a great fit, and they're going to find everything I need and everything else. But if you don't like the person, you have to understand you're going to be talking to these people, hopefully on a daily, if not, couple times a day if once they have a deal going. So do you get along? Is there something, is it really someone you want to work with? It's kind of funny that you'd want to go into business, because it is, you're going into business together. They have a product that they're selling you or selling us, and we're buying it. So they're representing the seller, and you have to understand that. Or they're representing the seller when we're going to buy it, and they're also going to be representing us as the seller when someone else comes to buy it. So is that person, are they real stiff and right by the book? And if that's what you like, then that's perfect. Then that's the person for you. Are they a little bit flexible? Do they have different hours? The realtors that I work with, I work from the East Coast to the West Coast. So my phone, I go by my time. I try and respect their time. I try and not call after 6:00 my time, which is 9:00. And I always ask to make sure, is there a certain time that you don't want me to call? So, just respect each other, and that's what you need to do. Would you want to work would you want to work with you? That's a big question. Are you real demanding that you're kind of a pain in the butt? And that's going to have to be a question that you're going to have to answer. And I put that up there because I had to change the way I was. Being in construction for so long and running my own company, I treated a lot of people like they worked for me. I ask for this, I expect this, do that, so that I put that up there really for me, because I had to change my attitude towards working with people that were working with me, not for me. So if you have to tame yourself down a little bit, it's not a bad thing. Sometimes you need that. So take a inventory of yourself. Look at yourself and see if you're easy to work with. Would you want to work with you? And that's kind of why I put it up there. It must be beneficial for both of you. Obviously, the benefit for the realtor is the sale. The benefit for you is the good deal. Maybe let me back that up. Not only a good deal, but is it something that is what you want to present when you go to sell it? You know what I mean? If there's, I'm saying, do you know what I mean to myself? It's a symbiotic relationship. Is it beneficial? Do you like them? Do they like you? Is it gonna work out for both of you? They're gonna make their commission on a timely manner. Are you gonna get a property that is going to benefit you in selling at the end? So, real simple. I'm looking back and forth. Everyone's quiet. I'm gonna jump to a question here real quick. Yes, thanks, Lynn. Square footage also. If you go back onto the old, some of the old webinars, the bed, bathroom, square footage, comps, pictures, all that up. Yes, thank you. Limitations. We just kind of went through that today. I'm jumping off of this for 1 second just to answer this question from Lynn, and we kind of went over it. The limitations on the square footage. Realistically, from the beginning of these webinars, I've opened up and said just anything, with in relationship to what we're looking for. Kind of had a situation on a house in Huntington Beach today. Price was in the 600s, give or take, but it was 1,100 square foot home. In Southern California, I really, if there's people that are out there that are listening in Southern California and have deals, I think the minimum that we're going to stick with is a 1,500 square foot home in the California area. I just think that that's kind of more of a target number as opposed to anything under that as a starter home. So thank you, Lynn, for bringing that back up, and we'll get back to the relationship, but that's kind of on a side note, and I apologize for jumping off, but that's a good point that we went through today. So back to the relationship, must be beneficial for both of you. Do they return your calls? They may return everyone else's calls, but if you're one of those people that they're hard to work with, they might not return your call. So are they available to you? in the relationship, you want to talk to someone if they have something to say to you, and also you want to be available to them. That's the next one. Are you available to them? If they make a phone call, do you answer the phone? Do you get right back with them? In any time I have, we all are in an age of the smartphones. We can all, input, our realtor's name. So if the name pops up there, I always put, Latanya is one of my realtor. So if I have 10 Latanyas in there, I know that this one's my realtor, and it's in Atlanta. So I know it's my Atlanta realtor that she's calling me. Answer the phone. It's real simple, and it may sound oversimplified, but when you're working with quite a few realtors and you answer the phone, they're going to know that you're a real investor person that they can work with. Um, the relationship, and it's a relationship 1,000 times. I can say it tonight. It's what would are you doing what you would want someone else to do? That's it. Can they rely on what you say? If you tell them, yeah, I'm an investor, or I'm buying with my investors, and you never follow through, why would they continue to work for you? Why would they continue to pull up stuff and work extra hard, or work in overtime to get you those deals? Say what you mean what you say. If you don't have money anymore, if right now all your money is out and you don't have money to fund any deals, tell them, hey, right now it's all my money's out. I need you to slow down. If something comes across, I might have someone else that might be interested, but be honest with them. Don't treat them bad, because they're going to save you. The one thing I could say is one of my realtors that I work with out here in Vegas, she finds a lot of, if you haven't heard before, I love burnouts. I love firehouses. And I'm kind of her go-to guy when it comes to a firehouse. She'll text me, she'll email me, she'll call me, say, mostly now she just texts me and she says, we have another one here, gives me the information. We have a relationship that I really trust what she has to say. I still verify, I still, do my comps, I still do everything else, but she knows what I'm looking for. She knows the type of person I am, that if she sends it to me, she knows that she has a buyer for it. If something comes across her desk that is a firehouse, she knows she has a buyer for it. Now, whether we follow through with it, if the deal is good, she knows she has a buyer for it. I'll jump back and say that. If the deal is good, she knows she has a buyer for it. If the deal is iffy, she probably still has a buyer, as long as we can get the numbers to work. So, and I was telling someone today or yesterday, that, I call her every 10 days or text her every 10 days. I know something about her. I know that she just got a new dog. I know, if you can build something that you have tangible between the two of you, then it's not just, what are you doing for me? Do you have something for me? Is there, it's not just a me relationship, meaning that all you're doing is asking for something from them. Get to know them. I mean, it's just it's a simple, once again, simple relationship. If you're always the taker, then, it's gonna end up that it's not gonna last for too long. That's what I mean by know them personally. I know most of my realtors pretty personally. I know there's another realtor that I work with in Vegas, that I know when he goes away on goes camping. I mean, he'll give me a call and say, hey, I'm heading camping, so don't expect to hear from me for a week. What realtor does that? And if you notice, I just said that another realtor that I have in Vegas. I don't work with just one person. We'll go over that in a little bit. You can't work with just one person. There's so many houses out there that there's a lot to see. So I see a couple more people have put up something, um, and this is kind of funny, that as you type whatever you type in here, I'm going to read word for word. So, hopefully that it'll go. And the one thing that I have to talk with Pete, underneath my picture is Pete Asmus. Well, I'm not Pete. I'm Scott Travis. So we're going to have to fix that. But he's the what do they call it? The presenter, organizer. So we're going to have to get that changed, Pete. This is from Kim Thompson. Hi, Pete. I have been working with a couple agents and I have a few properties I want to put offers in for. However, they are asking me for proof of funds prior to submitting the offers. What's the best way to handle this? If I don't have the funds myself, am I still buying? Am I still, if I don't have the funds myself and I am still building my buyers list? Okay, this was asked just a couple days ago from me also, from the people in Boston. We have a Boston group up there of bird dogs, and they're finding some stuff. If it's a proof of funds that a realtor asks for, that's absolutely fine. I have no problem sending the proof of funds. If you email me at Scott, SCOTT, at C, the number 2, CREIA, I have a proof of funds that will be more than happy to give out to you and have my permission to use to submit offers. The thing of the, and once again, the difference between a bird dogger, in my view, and a wholesaler is a bird dog finds the deal, does not put it into contract, does not tie it up into contract. Send the information over to us. We will tie it up into contract, and there'll be a fee that will be paid to you when we close the deal. That just frees up your money so that you don't have to put earnest money down or anything else like that. If you want to put your earnest money down, that's great. The way I think of it is, we're going to be another set of eyes to see if the deal works. So if you just email me, Kim, I'll be more than happy to send you a proof of funds, and we'll work it that way. It's from Fred. Wholesaling typically involves making lowball offers on distressed properties. Requires a pretty understanding realtor. How do you sell them on that approach? Well, here's making lowball offers. Well, working with the realtor, you'd be surprised on some of the offers that I've put in. The realtor has to understand that we are going to put in offers on multiple properties. And a lot of times, this is where the vetting process goes in the beginning. If they're a realtor that doesn't want to put in a lot of offers, and they are strictly a buyer's realtor, meaning that they are looking for a buyer to move into the house, and that's where their family's going to grow up, then that's not the realtor that you want. That's not the realtor that's going to work for you. I've had people say, and that was from Fred. Fred, thanks a lot. I'm going to continue to answer that. The thing about it is there's realtors that are buyers realtors, like I just said, and there's realtors that are just go-getters that are going to put offers in. We're working with one with Lynn, and she doesn't care if we put in lowball offers. And when I say a lowball offer, if you're marketing a property, and we have one today, in the market value on the property is $600,000, and you're marketing the property at $589,000 and sold as is. Well, number one, the thing is as is, there's something wrong with it, and you're only asking $11,000 more than or less than what the full market value is in that area. They're not going to get that off. They're not going to get that price. The way I see it now, maybe it's not an up and coming. Maybe it's an established neighborhood that everyone wants to live there. I don't know, but that's not going to happen. So, Fred, the thing that you have to do is, it's an interview process. It's going through realtors. Like I said, there's 6,200 realtors in Vegas, where I'm from, and I've gone through quite a few of them. And it's not always gonna work. If you've got realtors that are willing to go out there and do what you're asking, then those are the ones you want to work with. That's what you have to go with. But thanks for that question. The email again is Scott, SCOTT, at C, the number 2, CREIA.com. So, and I'll have that up at the end also, if you want to get a hold of me. From Gil, I like to tell the realtors that I want to work with me is that I am in it for the long haul and want to work in volume. Absolutely. The way you can get around that, not even get around it, but is to prove yourself. That's one thing that I had to do with this my fire. I call her my fire realtor. She didn't believe it. You know, I mean, she said she's worked with a lot of investors, and they say they want this and they want that, and they don't come through. Well, once you prove yourself, you know, it's going to be kind of hard for them to turn down a check when you're showing that you're producing. You know, and that's exactly it, Gil. You know, if you could just build a relationship, you know, there's the word again, build a relationship with them, and prove to them what you're going to do, and that's how we go. One more, and then I'll get back on this from Leon. I just got on. Hopefully, there is a replay. There is going to be a replay. I will get it up tomorrow, and if you go to c2creia.com webinars, this will be labeled Realtor Friend or Foe, and it'll be number 6. So thanks, Leon. We start at 6 o'clock on Mondays, and that's where we are. And I got a lot to go through, but let me try and get this going. This kind of goes on to what Gil was just saying. You know, train the realtor. Simple, easy tasks. You know, don't make it too difficult for them. I mean, it's a very simple process. We want to buy properties. We want to buy properties with value to them. Properties with value that's still left in them that we can buy and fix up and sell, flip, do whatever you want. Basic information should be no problem for a realtor. Once again, they have access to MLS. They have access to all the comps. They have access to everything that you need. Everything that you need, a realtor has. We've gone over in the past, some of the past ones on, you know, how to get that information. But if you have someone that you can work with in a relationship that can give you all that information, they're making it a lot easier for you, making it a ton easier for you. All right, things blowing up over here. So remember, the one thing is too is, and I say this with real timid. Remember, they work for you. You know, that can be, you know, that's where I had to take some of my construction side of me out a little bit. They do work for you, but it's a relationship that you want to nurture. And it's got to be mutually beneficial for both of you. If you are someone that's not going to, you know, do what you say, or they're someone that doesn't do what they say, you know, it's not the right fit. You will not buy from one and sell with another. That's one thing that you really need to understand with that too. Whatever realtor brings me the deal, they know that they have both ends of it, meaning they have the buy side and the sell side. If my fire, and I'm just going to use my fire girl, Holly, that's her name. Holly knows that when I buy a property from her, that she's going to get to list it. And Holly also knows how I do my properties and how I finish them, how they're done, how they look when they're done. So she knows me. So she knows that I'm going to put all the upgrades in it. I'm going to fix everything that's wrong with it. So that's a pretty neat sale for her because she knows what she's getting into. She's going to have a brand new house that's going to be marketable, and she could start marketing it. The minute she sells me the house, she can start marketing it because she knows what's going to come. So, you know, don't buy from one realtor and say, well, I have my friend that's going to sell it for me, you know, my other realtor that's going to sell it for me. Whenever I buy a property and whenever I work with the realtor, this is the one thing that all of them have said that they really like and really respect is I want them to find me a property that they are going to be proud to sell. With that being said, I don't want it to be hard for them to sell. If they don't want to go into a neighborhood to sell a property, I don't want to buy a house in that neighborhood. If there's a neighborhood that they really just like to stay away from, then I tell them right up the front, I don't care if the deal is good or bad. Don't sell me that. I don't want you to sell it to me. Now, with that being said, if another realtor brings me that same deal and they don't have a problem with working in that area and there's money in it, buy it. You know, once again, I do most of my stuff out of state, so I'm not going to be flying out there to put a for sale by owner sign in the grass. You know, so that's what you have to look for. Make you their first call when there's a deal. That's key. You know, I mean, you want them to call you first when there's a deal. Holly calls me first when there's a firehouse. And the reason that is because it's a built-up relationship. She knows me. She knows what's going to happen. She knows my process. She basically, if it's a deal, she already knows my numbers. She knows my spreads. She knows what I go for. So she's been trained well, and I have to say that I did a good job. You know, that's what you have to do. You just have to let them know on what you're doing, and and where it's at. I got a question from Kenneth. Greetings, Scott. Do you buy from wholesalers? Absolutely. That's what we do. If it's a wholesale deal and the deal is right, and you have it already locked up, you've already got your earnest money on it, then that's absolutely fine. If you don't, and it's a if it's a bird dog, we still pay for the bird dogging. But as a wholesaler, that means that you're pretty sure on your numbers, and you've got a contractor bid that is down to the numbers, that is a good legitimate. When I say that, I'm going to say this. A lot of times wholesalers will go, purchase price is 25,000, rehab is 40,000, and ARV is 120. Okay, where did your $40,000 come from? A rehab budget. Well, I looked at it and it needs paint and it needs cabinets. Well, I don't go by those rehab budgets. I go by a solid rehab budget. That's where we come in. If you don't have it locked up, we tie it up, and I get my contractors out there. I get inspections done. So, do we buy from wholesalers? Absolutely, we do. But your numbers have to match our numbers. I mean, that's just it. And that's the due diligence on our part. I mean, if we were just to take everyone's word for it, just like if we were to take the realtor's word, or something like that, we have to be held accountable to our own. So yes, we do, and I hope that answered a little bit for you. Let me go through this. Anna, do we buy at auctions? Yes and no. It depends on what auction is doing it. Auctions.com, there we have to register for it. And go through that. On an auction, I still use a realtor as my eyes to go out there. So yes, but there's quite a few caveats in that. But the blanket answer is yes, we buy from auctions. The more in-depth answer is there's a lot more research that we do as far as tax liens, as far as everything else, just like you should do anywhere else. But who is doing the auction? Is it a government auction? I've bought properties from the federal government and a federal government auction. That's a lot of research that you have to do just to make sure. You're welcome, Kenneth. So, training the realtor, we just went over that. And here's kind of something that I kind of touched on a little bit, that I have more than one realtor in pretty much every market that I go to. The advantage of that is, like I said before, if the one realtor doesn't like working in a neighborhood, but the other one really doesn't mind it, then I would have no problem with buying and selling with that realtor. In Vegas alone, I'm just going to keep with Vegas. I have 4 different realtors that I work with. One, which is Holly, who sends me all the stuff that's destroyed, and that's all she sends me, because she knows that that's what I'm looking for. I have another one whose name is Scott also. He's got a different parameter. He looks for property up to usually between anything under $100,000 to $160,000. He'll send me. Another one sends me from $50,000 to $300,000. So I have different variables in there. But it's kind of crazy, really, that I've noticed that even if I have 3 different realtors and I give them the parameter, give me everything up to 200,000, very rarely, and I could probably count on one hand how many times 2 realtors have sent me the same deal. It's just different. They have a different set of eyes. They look for different things. When my parameter is just up to $300,000, and they send me completely different stuff, it's kind of nice. I mean, you're going to get a broad variety of different properties. You could shop in multiple markets. Some people in Vegas, and I'm just using Vegas because it's easy. Some people, there's Henderson, Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Summerlin, some of the different Boulder City. So those are cities that are joined together, but some Las Vegas realtors don't like to work in Henderson. Some Henderson realtors don't like to work in Summerlin. So, you're within the same state. You're still within driving distance if you wanted to go look at them, but you've got a realtor that's kind of specializing in a certain market. You can manage them as if they work for you. um, that's kind of yes and no. They do work for you, obviously. Um, you're going to be paying them handsomely when you buy the property, and they're going to pay them when they sell the property. Um, you have definitely more deals coming to you. I try and say, if you have 3 realtors that you're working with, try and get them to send you 10 deals every week. And that may sound way outlandish, but in some markets, that's nothing. I know Vegas right now is a little bit slow, but there's just an influx of investors that are buying and holding properties here. So I am having to move outside that area. So you do definitely have more deals coming to you your way. Um, they will see the benefit once you close the deal. Obviously, they're going to see the benefit. Um, the one that's working for you, that's closing all the deals, that's making the money, is going to have that. They're going to know that you're the one to give the deal to set them up with. And like I said before, realtors don't see the same thing. It's kind of crazy. They have the exact same MLS listings. They have the exact same information that all of them have, but some of them don't see the same thing. Whereas one will look for as is, great fixer upper, handyman special. The other ones will just blow by all that and just look directly at the numbers. Whereas, some of them are putting themselves in a box, which is great for you. Don't limit yourself with just one realtor at all in any market. Never. If I could say never, and never, that's where I would put it in. Never just limit yourself with one realtor. Um, Working with more than one realtor, you can determine each criteria for the same area. Like I was saying, you can give one realtor up to $100,000 properties, one realtor from 100,000 to 200. Just kind of separate them out if you wanted to. One realtor, just give me damaged homes, completely burned, electrical fire, fire damage, vandalized, foreclosed homes, for sale by owners. For sale by owner using a realtor. Believe it or not, realtors, if you get the right ones, they will go to for sale by owners and work it out with you. That's just a way offshoot of tonight's program, but they will work with you. So that's kind of the benefits of using the multiple realtors. And I put this up here. Some realtors are very specific, and I kind of have, buying at the beach, waterfront views. If you're on the webinar, if you have it up, you could see this on there. There's a lot of people. I don't know if you saw the show on TLC, the Buying Naked. There's a community in Florida where it's just a nudist colony. If you want to live in a nudist colony, you need to go to a realtor that knows the nudist colony. And I say that kind of tongue in cheek, but you do. If you want a waterfront view, if you want something at the beach, you're not gonna use a realtor that lives in the desert. There is something to say about specific areas for specific realtors. And I'm not saying that if you live in a certain area that you have to stick with someone that only works at the beach, but if your criteria is real narrow, then make sure that your realtor knows that and knows that what you're looking for, and use them that way. So let me see, there's one more. Do you deal with apartment buildings? Yes, we do deal with apartment buildings, Michael. If you want to email me at Scott, SCOTT, at C, the number 2, C, REIA, I can go in more depth with that. And one of these webinars, I will go into that, but just not for tonight. But yes, we do deal and purchase apartment buildings. So once again, if you're looking for something specific as an investor or as a bird dog, go to a specific realtor that deals in the specifics that you're looking for. There's nothing wrong with that. So once again, I'm going to recap this real quick because this was in the beginning. Why would they put you first as someone to call? You're going to be an instant sale. You're a knowledgeable buyer. It's going to be an easy transition for them. You're a return customer. You're going to be a return customer as long as they send you the good deals. You're a cash buyer. As long as you're working with us, all of our deals are cash. We buy all of our properties cash. Always available to buy on the spot. Once again, as long as the criteria is right and as long as the deal is right, we buy. Easy to work with. Make yourself easy to work with. Bend a little, don't break. Don't let them, don't let them break you, because sometimes, realtors can be just as tough on you as you can be on them. And for heaven's sakes, if you haven't learned anything, have a relationship with these people. They're great. I mean, I'll say it again. Realtors are, I love them. I mean, working with them, because they have the information you want. They have what you want, and you have to understand that. If they've got what you want, you need to appreciate that, and you should appreciate that. We're coming down towards the end. If you guys have any questions, please, type it in, and I've been trying to go back and forth and get them as quick as I can. And also, there's a little hand button if you want to ask it live, which would be great. Just click the hand button. It'll show that your hand's raised, and I'll go to you and just spend 2 minutes and we'll go over it. So, just to recap on tonight's program, realtor, friend, or foe. I love realtors. If you thought that this was going to be, I was going to bag the realtors, and I don't know if we have any realtors on tonight. That's in no way what I was going to do at all. I think that realtors are your best asset when it comes to bird dogging. And we do have our hand raised. Sarah, I am going to unmute you, and let me see if you're there. Sarah, are you there? Sarah St. Clair. Oh, if you can hear me, are you there? I don't know if you hit the button on accident, but I will mute you again, and we'll come back to you and see if you can figure out what's going on over there. So I love realtors. I'll say that again. Benefits far outweigh the bad when you're working with a realtor. Now, with that being said, if you've got a bad realtor, man, cut it loose. There's no reason to have a bad relationship. There's no reason to stay in a bad relationship, especially with all the realtors that are out there. Once again, you don't need just one realtor. Get as many as you can that you feel comfortable working with. And now I say that, don't talk to 15 realtors and string them along and then never call them back, because that just gives yourself a bad name, and it gives, everybody that's trying to do this a bad name. It's not worth it. If someone isn't performing to what your standards or what you want, just politely tell them, say, I don't think that I'm getting what I need from you, and try and work it out. If you can't, then just say, okay, just don't accept anything else from them, or tell them that you don't need to work with them anymore. If it goes bad, get another one. There's always another one out there. If they don't help you, then let them go. I think I've reiterated that a couple times. If you're not getting the results, is it you or them? There's a big one. If you're not getting the results you're asking them to do, is it you that's asking too much, or is it them not doing enough? And that's just kind of a gut check for you. I know I've had to do that a couple times. It's not, it's okay if you're wrong. I mean, you have to accept that if you're doing something wrong, take it, kind of, if you don't think it's going right, have a conversation. Say, is there something that, I've done wrong that you're not giving me any more information, or what's going on? We've got, hold on, Chris, I will get that. Just wait 1 second and I'll go over that. So if you're not getting results, take an analyze to see if it's you or them, and then adjust. If you can adjust to what they're asking for, if they can adjust to what you're asking for, there's no reason to break off the relationship, as long as it's been a good symbiotic relationship between the two of you. Realize, do you both benefit from each other? Is your realtor working and calling you and leaving you text messages, sending you deals, and you're not getting back with them? And conversely, are you calling your realtor, asking for updates, or asking if there's anything you can do to get any other deals? Another thing is make yourself visible. I've been saying, contact them on email and everything else. a simple lunch does wonders. There was a realtor when I was first starting that we went out to Starbucks, and this is Scott, the one that tells me when he's going on vacation. Um, I met him at a Starbucks one day. I laid everything out on the table. Said, "This is exactly what I'm looking for. This is what I want to do." I'm going to tell you something. I had more stuff coming from him. Now we had to tweak it because the things that he was selling me sending me in the beginning weren't what I was looking for. But we talked it out. We had everything going. So sometimes the physical relationship that you have one on one, a lunch, a Starbucks, kind of donut, whatever it is, morning, make yourself available. Most realtors, this is their full-time job, so they're available, but also know that their time is valuable Friday, Saturday. I mean, don't set up an appointment with them on Friday afternoon or Saturday afternoon if they have an open house. Respect their time. This is, if any realtors are out there, I want you to understand that I totally respect and admire everything that you guys do. So that's one great thing. Treat a great realtor as gold. Boy, they're gonna make you so much money, and they're gonna save you time. They're gonna find out information that you need. There's so much information like we've gone over in the past webinars. And if you haven't, if you're new to this tonight, please go on to C2CREA.com and go to webinars, BirdDOGGING Opportunities with Scott Travis. It has all the webinars, the past webinars we've gone over there. It's they're gold. I mean, you've got to treat it that way, and cherish a relationship. I mean, if it's a good relationship, treat it that way. If it's a bad relationship, adjust yourself or get out of it. It's not a big deal. Just a couple more things recapping here. Are you a good client? I think we've gone over that. Are you someone that you want to work with? Do you hold your end of the deal? Are you just a bag of hot air and tell them what they want to hear or what they think they should hear? Make your word mean something. Do you listen to their advice? There's a lot of times where a realtor will give you some advice that you may not want to hear, but it's going to be inside information possibly. There's a great deal with a lot of money in it. You see there's a lot of money in it, you just say, man, I really want to get this deal. I want to write up an offer on it. I want this. And they point out a couple of things. There might have been some bad neighborhood. Last time we went here, it took forever to sell and the house was beautiful. You have to treat this business as a business. I have no emotional ties to the house. I have no emotional ties to what, the street. The only tie I have to it is, does it sell? Is there a market for this? Is there money in it? And it sounds so cut and dry, but you have to be that way. Otherwise, I think if my wife or if some people that I work with, had to make the decision on buying the house, we'd have a lot of houses that would be sitting on the market. It's just not what I do. Are they giving you what you want? Not just looking for a payday. And we kind of went over that in the beginning. That's in your interview process. Are they a realtor that's just going to, want to do 20 deals and look at the end result and don't care that you're going to be reselling it? So you kind of go over that. Are you wasting their time? Don't waste their time. Time's valuable. Don't waste their Saturday. I try and get a hold of my realtors on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I know a lot of the people I deal with, take Monday off because they've worked all weekend. The good realtors, I'll tell you this, they never stop working. So, if you've got one, keep it on with it. And, are they wasting your time? It works both ways. Are they sending you a bunch of junk that you really, that just from the beginning, from the smell test, when you go over it, is it a deal or not? Or are they just trying to keep you on the hook? So, I hope tonight was kind of good for you, that we went over it. Realtor, friend or foe, I love them. Once again, they're a friend to me. I always work with them. I love working with them. It's a great thing. So I'm going to get to this question. Once again, we are definitely wrapping up. If you have a question, raise your hand or type it in. Chris, what is my criteria for a deal? And like I said a little bit earlier, if you would go on to C2CREIA.com, go to bird dogging and then bird dogging opportunities with Scott Travis. We kind of go over that. The deal that we're looking for is we have teams across the United States right now. We have Atlanta, we have Boston, Florida, California, Vegas, that we're looking for, but we're not closing our eyes. We go to where properties are selling. We're looking for up and coming areas. And when I say up and coming areas, like we're doing in Atlanta, we're kind of on an outskirt of an area that has great potential. There's a lot of people that are moving to their surrounding neighborhood. And what's happening is they can't afford the $300,000 homes, but they can afford the $150,000 homes. We're focusing on that end so that we can get them in the nice school districts, upgrading the neighborhood to try and build the neighborhoods. What we want to do is we want to change the neighborhoods and build things up. As far as the criteria in specifics, bed and bath, that really it just depends on the deal, on the house. We just purchased a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. When a lot of investors will say stay away from it, but it has the square footage of the lot, so we can add on, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're making it 3-2. We're adding 500 or 600 square feet to it to upgrade it with the rest of the neighborhood. So that's what we're doing. So that's it. And like I said, if you go through some of the previous webinars, you'll see that. Now, and hopefully I touched on it a little bit for you. That helps you a little bit. Good, great, Chris. So we are coming down to the end. I really appreciate everybody being on. We've had, once again, it's another week that we have more people than we had on last week. It's kind of humbling. I really appreciate you guys spending your time with me. Here's another thing that's helped me out a lot. That's changed the way I've been looking at things here recently. Pete Asmus's 21-day challenge. I know all of us at Coast to Coast, are on it and are doing it. Everyone we talk to, we talk about it. Spend 5 minutes in the morning, write your goals down. It's a community of people that you're never going to get criticized for what your goal is. If your goal is to make $100,000, no one's going to sit there and go, well, you can't do that. There's probably going to be more people than not that are going to try and help you to help you with your goals. It's just an amazing thing. Go to C2CREIA.com/21-day challenge. Sign up. If there's anything you need, you can ask me. I will help you. Contact Pete, contact any of us. And I'll say my email again is Scott, SCOTT, at C2CREIA.com. As we're winding down, here we go. A couple of questions. Great. Perfect. From Sarah, what purchase price to AFV are you looking for? Well, what purchase price AFV? I think I need a little after fix up. Okay. We usually do ARV, after repair value. Are you looking for what purchase price? The purchase price really depends. If you're looking for a percentage, 65 to 70% of ARV. That's a flat answer. I don't like to do it that way because there's so many variables, and if you stick with a formula like that, sometimes you lose a great deal. There's so many variables in that. Sometimes we'll go up to 75% of ARV. You look at the comps. Maybe the comps are showing that these houses are days on market are short. Maybe we can get in and get out. We don't have to tie up the money for so long. Maybe the repair isn't as extensive as needs to be. Maybe we can get it done in 30 days as opposed to 60 days. So there's kind of some wiggle room in there. But thanks so much, Sarah, for the answer. And I think you had your hand up, so sorry about that. Didn't know, don't know what happened on either end. If anybody has any other questions, I see a lot of new faces, a lot of new people on here tonight. It's awesome. You guys have all been great. I really appreciate your time. And oops, let me jump back here. The one thing is too, is if you're going to build a dream, build a dream with someone you love. I mean, this is my wife and me. Pete says I got to get my face out there more. So that's us. On vacation, you're only here for a short time. Make sure that the time you're here, you're enjoying it. And that goes along with real estate investing. working with your realtor, this kind of all ties back in. If you're working with someone, make sure you like it, make sure you enjoy it. And that's the great thing about this, that I really enjoy. I've pretty much been doing a lot of this by myself until I hooked on with these guys, and it's great to have a team behind you that supports you, and knowing that all you people here tonight support me, I appreciate that also. And next week, if you want to tune in, also if you sign up on C2C REIA, and Pete has a live radio show on Bloomberg Radio at 10 o'clock in the morning. I will be co-hosting with him all next week. Ivan is going to be away in Kansas City. So, tune in this week to see what it's about, not just next week. Ivan's a great guy. So is Pete. So with that, I don't see anything else. Any other questions? I keep checking. Once again, I want to thank everybody for showing up with me tonight and asking the questions. And if there's anything on future webinars that you'd like me to go over, please email me at scott@c2crea.com, and we'll see if we can't go over them with you. Okay? You guys have a great night, and go make something happen. Bye-bye.